Alright, welcome along to the channel. It has been a little while since we uploaded a longer form video piece of content for you. And a little bit different here, we're going the podcast route for a little while on the videos. Not going to explain myself that much. It is what it is. Time is tight and it's just very easy to sit down and do a little bit of audio instead of getting in front of the camera as per usual. But it is what it is. We're just going to go ahead with here. He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. We're getting very close to the end of the reviews in this box set, and this is the Golden Discs of Knowledge. Great little episode. Had a bit of a good time with this one right here. Very simple storyline here. There's a guy that has done wrong and he's trying to make up for it. Prince Adam at the beginning of the episode, taking it easy, having a relaxing morning, doing a little bit of painting. Cringers there, they're hanging out, and Prince Adam's like, it's nice to have a little relaxing day, a little bit of painting before we get some lunch. And he's like, no, we'll do lunch now, sort of thing. He's just been the playful little character that he is whenever he's not He-Man. Taking it easy, been the I was going to say loser there for a second. He plays kind of the loser as the Prince Adam character, but he's more of the waster as the sort of way it was in the original series here. Orko shows up, makes himself invisible, he's playing tricks on them, knocks paint over, all this sort of nonsense. And then the Sorceress contacts Adam telepathically, tells him to come to Castle Grayskull as He-Man. So he transforms himself along with Cringer and the Battle Cat. And at Grayskull, they get there. The eyes are flashing, the drawbridge is slapping up and down. And He-Man has to physically hold the drawbridge down for Battle Cat and Orko himself to get into Castle Grayskull. So once they get in there, there's these ghostly apparitions appearing and disappearing everywhere. They appear to be harmless. The Sorceress then gets everything settled down. She commands our mystic mirror to show them who's causing these visions. And this mirror reveals this image that's translucent, let's just say, of this guy called Xanthar. The Sorceress identifies him as the former keeper of the Golden Discs of Knowledge. Xanthar explains that a long time ago the Council of the Wise stored their knowledge on these discs and made him as keeper. It was all these guys from all ends of the universe came to Eternia, put all their knowledge on these discs. He was the guy responsible for taking care of them. In a moment of weakness, he gave the discs to Skeletor, who promised him great power in return. But Xanthar received nothing and was sentenced to the Phantom Dimension for his crime. Since then, he's been forced to travel throughout Eternia as an invisible phantom, not able to contact anybody, not able to speak, not able to touch. He's just a ghost, damned eternally to wander Eternia. And whenever you think about it, it's a pretty dark sentence for a cartoon, but that was the 80s for you. Class. He-Man, being the good character he is, he convinces the Sorceress to give Xanthar a chance to redeem himself. She's kind of like, he's bargaining. He wants to come back. He wants to make up for his past crimes by finding the discs, returning them to the rightful owners and whatnot. The Sorceress is kind of like, I can't make this decision. It was the council that did this. She's more or less wanting to keep the balance, sort of a thing here in this situation. But He-Man convinces her, let him try to redeem himself. So she contacts the only remaining member of the Council of the Wise, Zodak, who is a member of the overlords of the eternal dimension. he shows up. Zanfar wants to reclaim the golden disc from Skeletor so he can be released from the Phantom Dimension and atone for the crime. As a spirit, Zanfar has found that the disc's locations are in the Snake Mountain. So they all head off, He-Man believing everyone deserves a second chance. He offers Zanfar to come with him on the quest. Zodak, the last remaining member of the council that sentenced your man, grants Zanfar the abilities of a mortal man, even though his body remains in the form of a phantom. Okay, you're not going to get completely put back to normal here, but we will give you the ability to touch this, that, and the other sort of thing, but you're still going to be a phantom. He-Man, Battlecat, Orko travel to Snake Mountain with Zanfar. Zanfar, probably saying his name completely wrong. I tended to do that. Zanfar shows them a secret entrance behind part of the blood waterfall of Snake Mountain. Battlecat suspects a trap, and Zanfar leads him straight into Skeletor's vaults. So he said, I was a ghost, completely formless, couldn't speak to nobody, couldn't touch nobody, but I was able to sneak around Snake Mountain and work out where everything was at. And he's true to his word to get them in there in the first place, into the vaults. He knows the discs are in the first one from the right, but He-Man notices that the discs on display aren't gold. They're replicas and not the actual golden discs. Skeletor appears on a view screen and informs them that a silent alarm went off the moment that they entered the vault. He then manages to trap them in a cage of solid magnetic force. It's one of these ray gun sort of things, pops up out of the wall, fires at them, puts this cage around them. He-Man encourages Zanfar, you can get out of the cage using your phantom form. Obviously you're not solid. This thing can't hold you. So he manages to do it. He just walks through it. Orko then uses his magic to teleport himself out. Orko on point with the magic in this episode. He then instructs Zanfar to conjure up images to distract Skeletor, to give Orko a chance to turn off the force field machine. Battlecat still doesn't trust this guy Zanfar, but He-Man's plan works and they get released from the cage. At this point, Beastman, Evelyn, and Trapjaw, they appear to take on He-Man and the other heroes that have got themselves into Snake Mountain. They're taken out in pretty short order in this episode, and the clueless way that they normally mess up. There's a little bit of a fight between them, but Skeletor, he's noticed Orko is using the control panel and turned the force field off, so he scares Orko off, and he's like, I'm going to have to turn this back on again before He-Man escapes. And he turns it on back down in the vaults. The beam fires again, but his own minions, Beastman, Evelyn, and Trapjaw, were standing in the same spot where He-Man originally was at, so the beam actually cages them off. Zanfar works out that Skeletor must have hidden the discs underneath Snake Mountain, which he built using the knowledge that he obtained from the discs. They return to the vault room where He-Man breaks through the floor to find the discs hidden deep beneath Snake Mountain. Skeletor then appears and releases a giant snake to challenge the heroes at the end of the episode. Zanfar hurries over to the other side of the canyon, grabs the discs, and floats back up to the main vault floor. So this all takes place beneath where the fake discs was at. Skeletor then confronts Zanfar, and then again tries to tempt him with another offer. He's going to free him from the Phantom Dimension forever and help him take revenge on Zodak and the other people that, sentenced him to this fate worse than death, essentially. But Zanfar refuses, saying that Skeletor is his enemy. Before everybody gets out of Snake Mountain, the heroes leave Skeletor and the company of the giant snake that he released on them a few moments earlier, which begins to pursue him through the innards of Snake Mountain. So back over at Grayskull, Battlecat admits that he was wrong to mistrust Zanfar. The Sorceress and Zodak compliment him, and He-Man on a job well done. Zodak has been now chosen to be the guardian of the golden discs of knowledge this time, and makes Zanfar his assistant and a member of the Cosmic Enforcers. Zanfar is given a new look, similar to that of Zodak. Then they magically turn into like little balls of light and fly off into space at the end of the episode. Orko at the end of the episode, he's kind of wondering, why didn't he get any credit for his help in the whole thing? Everybody thanks He-Man and Battlecat and Zanfar even as this character that was never heard tell of before this episode, yet I managed to use my magic without screwing the whole process up, and nobody gives a flying damn about anything I've done. Not so over the top as that, but he does these wee comedy moment at the end of the episode. So as always, at the end of each He-Man and the Masters of the Universe episode, there is the moral of the story. If you weren't wise enough or on the ball enough to realise what the story was about, one of the characters would break the fourth wall and tell you. And in this one here, it's He-Man himself, and he pops up, talks to the viewer, and he says, in today's episode, Zanfar committed a crime, but when he was given a chance to make up for it, he came through with flying colours. It's important to give your friends a chance to make up for their mistakes. Of course, if they continue to do wrong, we might want to think about whether we really want them for a friend or not. But many wrongdoers do see the error of their ways. All they need is a second chance. Everybody deserves that. Great episode of a great little story line on there. It's one of those ones that speaks to adults as well. I've had instances in the past where I've had to cut people off for some of the things they've done, and it's never easy. And I like to give a second chance if I can, but there's only so much you can take. There's a lot of He-Man is right in that end there. There's a lot of knowledge in what he's saying here. Again, just to cover one of the lines he said, if they continue to do wrong, we may want to think about whether we really want them as a friend or not. I give more chances than enough. I give second chances, third chances, fourth chances. The biggest problem with a lot of people, not just these days, but in the last 15 to 20 years, is just the lack of self-awareness that they're actually doing something wrong. And it's not to the point where you'll have to friggin' explode in some people before they actually realise, oh shit, I stepped over a line there. It's a weird time that we're living in. But that's a little tangent of my own that really had nothing to do with the actual episode itself, other than the moral of the story. But great little episode. We're only 3 off the end of it here. So that's going to do it for this episode, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Until the next one, stay safe, and I will talk to you all then.